Hey guys, it's Casey, aka Mega Killjoy, for those of you who know me on my live streams. Um, Also, just a little shout out for if you go to Spalding High. I'm doing a project, so if you go to Spalding High and you have U.S. history with Mr. Rowley is like the awesomest teacher to have. You guys are in for a treat. I personally love his class, even though I may not show it that often, but I mean, I love his class. He teaches the class in a way that I personally can learn. It's kind of not like, you know how you have those classes, you have the really big book and you just go through the book. His class isn't like that, so that's the reason why I like his class. So yeah, I do actually learn something in this class. But enough about that, let's get to the actual project. So today I have a project from school to do in this video. This video is my presentation of this project. So, this project is about the Scopes trial, right? Well, if you guys don't know, those of you that don't know what the Scopes trial is, sorry about the movement, is the Scopes trial is this trial about this guy, Scopes, who goes to trial for teaching evolution in schools in this town called Dayton, Tennessee, or Dayton. It's in Tennessee. Those of you who don't know what the town, it's like a really small town. Like, you know, where everybody knows everybody, kind of stuff like that. So Scopes is like from this, I want to say it's big city, but it's not really. I'm not entirely sure where he's from. I think it's the big city. However, there's this controversy there during this trial about, like, it's more, people are thinking that it's more about what else is going on besides just this trial about evolution, because there's more going on behind the scenes that people don't actually think about. So the question that I have to answer here is, the question is, how was the controversy surrounding the Scopes trial more complicated than a simple debate between evolutionists and creationists? So the evolutionists are the guys teaching evolution who figured out, like the scientist guys who figured out this way that we evolved from apes. The creationists are the people who believe in God and the Bible and that God created the earth in 7 days. Personally, I'm an evolutionist. Those of you who are creationists, hey, whatever. It's your deal. In my opinion, so my personal opinion of the Scopes trial is that it was not only a pointless argument, but it was a pointless argument, really. There was no actual reason behind it. Like, seriously. What happened to the First Amendment during this time? Come on. What happened to the First Amendment at this time? Freedom of speech, you know, freedom of religion. Hey, you want to believe in this religion? Go right ahead. You want to teach evolution? Go right ahead. What happened to that during this time? This trial was just, in my personal opinion, it never should have happened. Never should have happened. This whole controversy should have never happened. But it happened. So the big, I guess, the actual answer is that I do have this packet of primary documents, as they would call it, which is all the documents that were people actually wrote about this trial. So my how I would say project answer, so like the actual answer that I'm going to give is, alright, so the controversy behind this Scopes case was more complicated because there were a bunch of things happening behind the scenes that, like, Dayton, Tennessee, for those of you who don't know, Scopes trial happened in Dayton, Tennessee. Dayton, Tennessee was getting money for this. for like the Scopes trial, and they were just turning like, think of it like this big like boiling pot or whatever. They were just turning gears. So back to this. Alright, so Dayton, Tennessee was just was getting money for all this, for the entire Scopes trial just going on. So they were the ones that were sitting there just turning the gears, trying to make it move, but not too fast, not too slow, because they were trying to milk it for everything it had. So they were just trying to get money, money, money. Well, that wasn't really obvious to people because they were too busy dealing with the Scopes trial. They were all sitting there. The evolutionists are going to come in, and with all their corruption, they're going to come in and corrupt all of us, our pure-hearted souls, and this whole small town community. That's basically how the creationists were thinking. The evolutionists were like, no, listen. We're not trying to tell you guys you can't do your religion stuff, you can't believe your religion, you can't teach your religion. We're telling you that, we're scientifically proving to you that we didn't just be created. We evolved from these things called apes. So another behind the scene thing that wasn't really behind the scene but may not have been obvious at the time was that the creationists were worried that the evolutionists were going to replace them, and they were worried that the corruption of the big cities were going to corrupt them as well because the evolutionists were from the city, not the small town. So they thought that the political corruption would come and infest their small, pure town. Alright, so what I have to say to that is, yeah, alright, I can see the point there, but because corruption is a big deal, obviously now, no matter where we go, there's some form of corruption. Oh well, gotta deal with it. I can see why they were thinking that, but at the same time, I can see that they were just overreacting, because evolution is kind of a huge deal now, and whether you believe in, like, the Bible is, like, basically how the world created, blah, 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 whatever. I guess, yeah. Political corruption would come and infest them. It could have happened. Obviously, it didn't happen because the evolutionists won the argument at the end, but it obviously didn't happen. And if it did, nobody would ever know about it because nobody really complained about it after the Scopes. Alright, so from the primary document, Sparks letter, which is document A right here, in this letter, there was, Mrs. Sparks says that when the law to ban teaching of evolution in public schools was passed, she was surprised with how few mothers were thanking the lawmakers and that the lawmakers were protecting our children from one of the destructive forces, which will destroy our civilization. That is what Mrs. Sparks says right in this document. You don't believe me? Go look it up. I got the document right here. Prove it. Anyways, so in like one of the other letters, one of the things that the American Federation of Teachers statement. So this is like the big group of teachers that were fighting the creationists. They say in Modified Document C, which is still a primary document, so Modified Document C, American Federation of Teachers statement. The American Federation of Teachers is very concerned about the effect of Tennessee anti-evolution law. Teaching has been threatened by unwise lawmakers who fear to trust the intelligence, the public spirit, and the devotion of teachers. Shots fired. Alright, so, but once again, I do believe the creationists overreacted because the way they thought about this as soon as it was brought up was, oh, we're gonna be corrupted, outcasted, abandoned, and damned to hell. That's basically how they thought. And I kind of said, one of the things for that is, you know what? Grow up, because you're not gonna. That's not gonna happen. It didn't happen, and religion's still around today. So I'm pretty sure all those people that were fighting the Scopes thing, or fighting evolution, were pretty embarrassed when it didn't happen, because that was pretty much overreacting on like a really high level. So I guess to wrap this all up is the Scopes trial was kind of a waste of time because not only, I mean, like, the big controversy behind it was, yeah, Dayton, Tennessee was getting was getting money for it. The creationists and evolutionists thought, well, what the evolutionists were fighting for was just for that evolution to be taught in schools. The creationists thought that they were fighting for, like, their freedom or something like that, along those lines, because they thought that they were going to be thrown out, forced to stop teaching religion, all of that. Basically, the third thing was they thought that they were going to be destroyed. It was going to destroy their town, their pure town, and all that. And so yeah, they thought that they were going to destroy their town, and that it was going to be destruction, and that God was going to come rain freaking all hell down on them. So yeah, guys, that's about it for this project. Let's see. I guess one of the other facts that I could throw in: the New York Times, the Tennessee came to Dayton today in overalls to attend the trial of John Scopes for the teaching of evolution. The Tennesseans came from the mountain farms near Dayton, but where work usually began at daylight, was deserted. So that gaunt, tanned, toil-worn men and women and shy children might see William Jennings Bryan duel to the death with enemies of the... Thanks for watching this little video. I know it's not really about gaming or my channel usually, and it's not about the stuff I usually do about. Sorry that there might have been a few mix-ups that I missed in this, but I just gonna apologize for that. And I'm sorry about any of the extra noise you guys hear. I'm outside right now. There's water dripping because it's raining out. I was planning to do this in the daylight and against my truck, but that didn't happen because it's raining. There's been some cars driving by and some people walking by. They've kind of been looking at me like I'm crazy, but you know what? It's all good. Yeah. So once again, shout out to Mr. Rowley, greatest history teacher I've ever had. If you have him, you're lucky. You may have a treat for that one. So yeah, this is Casey, aka Mega Killjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video.